I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gonna live it up on the attack. Baby, I'm bad, I just wanna get caught up in this life. I'm crazy, I'm mad, doing no cap. Only God wants, so you better go live it up. Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Baby, I'm bad,
Yeah.
baby, I'm bad.
I just wanna stay bad, stay mad. Chip on my shoulder cause they treat me like an outcast.
To put in the right place, get your rubber out, and they will not budge. Carbon paper is the devil. Unless, I'll admit, I use it if I'm just doing lettering, because I know I'm going super dark. So I'll go over that carbon and hide it. That's the only time I use carbon paper. If you're doing a real piece, never use carbon paper. Because if you think about it, we don't all have an outline to us, do we? If it doesn't walk around with a black or a blue outline. So you've got to get yourself out of that mindset. Get away from carbon paper. It's cheap as hell. I remember when I started, I was using carbon paper. And I was using the wax-based stuff, which was even worse. Jesus, you need an angle grinder to get it off. And I did these pieces and could you shit get the transfer lines off? Not a chance would they budge. And as I learnt more and more, and people said you got to use graphite paper, but my wife is an artist as well, so she gave me the method of making your own piece of graphite paper to transfer your images. What I'm looking to do at this back end is have it, you've got to have it shading going off, curling off. Everything balances out in the end. As one thing changes, then so does everything else. And that's one of the things I like about pyrography. Is what I do is I set the transfer down, look at the image for a few days, and eventually in my mind I build a mental image of what I want to do, and then just go with it. Ditch the picture that you transferred from, get rid of that, and then just go with your mind. See where it takes you. Every time you don't succeed is not a failure, it's one step closer to mastering the art form. So for every time you get it wrong, it's not a waste of time. You're one step nearer to finding the right method for you, because I suppose everybody has their own style of wood burning. Some like to burn hot and fast, and some like to take the time and just get lost in it. And say if you're retired and you're looking for something to fill your days, then why not take your time with it? What's the rush? This art form will teach you patience, I guarantee you. Put it sideways so you can see it straight on at the minute, but I'm actually working side on. Then here I want to add a step. So just put another extra bit of detail in. Using the very tip of the pen now. The tip is the hottest bit, the tip and the edge. You can run edges as well. They're the hottest parts of the pen. Usually I use a medium space shader, but for some reason on this one I thought I'm just going to use the extra small and see how it goes. Do you see for me just layering? No rush at all, just keep building layer, and the wood will start shading until you reach the shade that you want. Thank you to Christy, thank you. I don't know if you're still here, sorry I hadn't looked at comments. It's been an obsession, Christy, for well, I don't know how many, it's been well over a week. That's why I've been missing from the group for quite a bit, because I've been obsessing over this fox until I burned myself out on it. Remember that the last horse that I did a full size horse, you know what, full body and everything, and that was, I think that was like 3 or 4 months on and off. I burned myself out on it so many times, layering up the horse's body, but I got some good shape to the body on that. Enjoyed working on that piece. At times we've all got a to-do pile with pyrography. You set off on a project and I've got loads in my drawer, and you lose interest in it, or you get someone ask you to do some things and you do that, or you see another picture and the piece you're working on, you lose interest, put it in the drawer, come back to it at another time. That's what may happen to Mr. Fox. maybe burn yourself out and go hiding in the drawer. We'll see. Now behind the ear, I'm going to whack the heat up just a touch, because we want to go darker, a shade, with the fur behind the ear. To show that it's sat behind. And it's coming out from the darkness. Put it on a pyrography group with like half an hour's notice that I was doing this TikTok session, because I tried doing Facebook Lives and you need like a webcam, and then you need a tripod, and you need all this shit, and I was buying it, all this crap, and getting my laptop out, and absolute nightmare trying to do these Facebook Lives. So TikTok is so much easier. And I know a lot of the people you follow and all that, just to get your numbers up so you can go live, aren't into pyrography. But you never know, you might make a pyrographer out of one or two of them. No, there was a lady on the other week when I was burning in the early hours, and she was from America, and she was watching for a bit, and she said she loved wood burning. And I looked at her profile thing, and she lives in like the woods in USA somewhere, and there were pictures of like bears and a bloody garden and stuff. Living like right near forests, that'd be ace. Living out in the sticks. Sadly, in the UK, we haven't got many locations like that, have we? The nearest one to me is Delamere Forest. And we've had a few walks around Delamere. I don't know how big Delamere is. It's not one of them sort of forests like you have in the USA, where they are massive, aren't they? I think some of the forests in the USA are bigger than the whole of the UK. We're still trying to gently add the shading to behind the ear. Sorry mate, I'm from Warrington. I have a lazy accent at times. Originally from Barnsley. And that's an accent, but that one went. Why is it all of a sudden gone to that? With the advert thing on. tablet. Because I'm using my phone for filming, I couldn't see what anyone would say. The wife had the great idea: set up another profile on your tablet, and then you can see the comments if anybody asks you any questions or anything. Beforehand, I'd have to try and look up at my phone every now and again. And maybe it was like missed what people have said to me, and then it's rude. So now I can see any comments, any questions people have. Like I said, don't worry about that smoke. It's not the wood on fire. It's me with the e-cig. Jacked in smoking, maybe. How long ago did we give up smoking? About 8 years or more. About 7 or 8 years. 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 No, how long we give up smoking? 13 years. 12 years I'm at, and I used to smoke 40, 50 rollies a day. Packed it in and went on the e-cig. And it's weird now, I don't know what it's like in America, but if you see people smoking real fags in the UK, it's like really weird, the stink of it, and just you don't see many people smoking anymore, plus the price of them in the UK. I don't know what it's like in America, but the price of a pack of fags or baccy in the UK is extortionate. I think it's like 20 quid. Yeah, 10 years. It's like 20 odd quid for 20 fags. Imagine that if you're a heavy smoker. 40 odd quid a day. You'd have to be earning some good money, wouldn't you, to be able to afford that habit. I knew a lad when I played snooker, he smoked 40 a day and he'd buy 40 fags. Jeez, he was on, I think he was on 30 something grand a year, but it must have been a struggle. I mean, it was expensive enough when you rolled your own. Now you can only buy big pouches of baccy because they're slowly trying to get rid of fag smokers. But then they say, oh, the e-cig starts to make kids think it's cool. Well, kids thought smoking was cool, and you used to advertise the shit out of fags and stuff on sports events and everything. So they try and demonise the e-cig, and it's attracting kids to start smoking. They're not smoking, they'd be vaping. But yeah, there is nicotine in it. But it's only the same as when we were kids and we thought fags were cool. I'm going to have a look at this step we've put in. If I just put it on a slight angle, see if you can still see it, because you do need to move your wood. You can't sit with a piece of wood straight on in front of you. Well, I can't anyway. Nightmare when I'm doing YouTube teachings, because I'm moving the wood all over the place to get at the different angles. Because if you're trying to burn in a certain angle in a certain direction and you like this, just turn your wood round, work upside down, work side on. I don't know how people, I mean they do, and they do great work on it, but I don't know how they use an easel. I just put it flat on it's now a glass table. Just move the wood around as need. If you need to get an angle in a certain direction, move the wood over, so it makes it easy for you to go in that direction. Move the wood, so you're always burning it. This thing I call heat bleed, right? And if, say, you have fur here and layer that's underneath this one, but came at it from this side, any excess heat feed onto the bit I don't want to work on. So you have your pen on the right side of the shading, so the excess heat is going where you want it to go, underneath that layer, that step you're trying to put in. To always come at your wood burning from the right direction. I may probably be rambling to myself for a lot of this, but first sign of madness has come and gone. Because it doesn't say how many people you have viewing or anything, I don't think. But it's the first experiment. And we'll build it up through the Facebook group. There's we're having group experts, and it's just people who are really into pyrography, and we may do a collaboration of different ones of us doing TikTok lives. Now my tablet's freaked out again and kicked me out. So remember all these lines you've got. I'm going to go back so you look like you're on nearly a side angle now. They all have to be shaded out, which is, it's a delicate process. Especially when you're doing like light fur or white fur. It's all about just really subtle tones. There's some in the Facebook group and say, I've got to do a white dog, and oh my god, how do I do that? And trust me, a white dog is a lot easier to do than a black dog.
In a sea of the dying and shameless, a sea of the aimless. I don't wanna be one of the nameless. I'ma wake up with the mindset that one day I'm gonna make it. And I don't think I'll be fine if I don't break my limitations. Don't try to stop me, I exist to write my own story. I'll make a decision if I want some peace or if I want the glory. Yeah, don't want a life that is complacent or possibly boring. I just want a life that is worth every day exploring. My whole life I just wanted some